3rd. Bright and early. Not really. Not for me anyway. It's like almost 10 o'clock. Yeah, basically. Got my iced coffee. I'm only on the grain cart today until Kyle comes, because he couldn't quite get here first thing this morning, which is no big deal. So I'll be in the grain cart until he gets here, and then I will go practice combining some down corn with Dad. So that will obviously not be filmed because he does not like being on the line, which is fine. But hopefully that just means Kyle takes some sick video today to make up for it.
Oh, welcome back. We're back to combining corn, just east of Mom and Dad's right there. We've got some neighbors going off to our north. Can't see them. Pam is in the combine today. Let's see if we can zoom in just a tad. Maybe not. Pam's learned how to run the combine some corn today, getting her more seat time. I'm back to running cart. They ran a little bit last night and got some stuff done. Yeah, so today I'm running cart and playing with the dryer, make sure that's running where we want it to. I need to check it again when I go back. I'm waiting for my second dump right now once Pam gets back with the combine. Here's a shot of Pam running the combine. Dad's right there with her, kind of showing the ropes. We got a little bit of down corn, so it's just good for her to experience that. It's a decent field to learn, nice short rows. We'll see how she crosses the waterway. Like a boss. You think she knew what she was doing? So they must not have got enough combine last night to get the cone going in the wet bin, so the dryer ran out of corn. So I just had to restart it here, and then I'll check it again when I go back with this next load and see what the moisture's running. I bet I'm gonna have to speed it up a little bit more because it's kind of over drying, which is good compared to how hard everything dried last year. The dryer could hardly keep up with us, and this year it's kind of outrunning us, which I guess I won't complain. Plus we're drying cool, so we're only using the top burner of the dryer, which is also good because we're using less LP, so sweet. This sucks. Let's go down. just saw there was me climbing up our big bin way up top there. Take a look at how the spreader was doing. A little bit off, so I readjusted the spout so it was hitting the spreader evenly so it'd fill the bin nice and even. And then I took some moisture samples and adjusted the dryer. I think it's just over drying just a tad, so we'll see. Next time I come back, I'm gonna do some hand samples, see what I get. I'm all dirty now. At least it's not bean dust, I guess. That stuff's nasty. So I know I talked about this in the other video, I don't know which one we're on, but how our tracking needs to follow in the old combine tracks. So if you look right there and right there, that's the old combine tracks. And then so when I come along with the grain cart, I just need to drive right in the middle, which I'm a little bit off right now, but not terrible. That's just how I know how far away to be from the combine. It just works out real nice. With the extension we've got on there and the 12-row head, you just fall right in the old combine tracks and you're right centered where you need to be. It's handy. I'll just pull in, line myself up with the old combine tracks that Pam just made, and then when she comes back, and from the other side, when she comes back over the waterway, we'll be ready to dump. Perfect. Dog. So one thing I don't know if we've talked about yet, even though I'm in the 305 today, even though this tractor is 10 years newer than the 270, all the controls are the same as far as the throttle and the shifter. Both have the left-hand reverser. These remotes are all the same. They operate pretty much the same, and we've got the exact same grain carts. Really the only difference between the two are the tires. They're both Brent 782s. The reason we've got that, a large reason we run these two, is because they operate the same. So no matter which tractor you hop in that day to run grain cart, it's always the same. You don't have to remember, oh, I'm in this tractor, I got to move this lever a certain way, or I'm in that tractor, you got to do something a little different. They're the same. So when we train a new operator, or just from day to day, if you switch tractors, it stays the same. You don't make as many basic mistakes because it's the same tractor, it's the same performance, it's the same, yeah. Makes it easier, makes life simpler. Yeah. Dog.
Only had one part where I was kind of pushing up some dirt on just like the one side where the in between the snoots, it was like picking up too much stuff. But that was because on our corn head we have it kind of rigged so that the end snoot on the right side tilts up when we go around like waterways, or in this case I was going alongside our CRP ground on the very other side of this field. And basically when we did that, our automatic header control that just like keeps your header level thought that the ground was dipping down instead of the snoot lifting up, and it tried to correct by doing this to the header, which then of course was pushing that side actually too far into the ground because the ground wasn't uneven, it was flat. We just lifted the one snoot up. But that was something we forgot to do before we went down that row, which lesson learned, and I was unloading when I saw it and I managed to get stopped and I didn't dump any grain on the ground. So I would say overall we didn't ruin a snoot and we didn't dump any grain on the ground. Not a bad mistake to make. Obviously, no mistakes is great, but the ones that don't break anything and don't dump corn on the ground is also acceptable in my book. So overall, I'll give myself like a 9.5 out of 10. I was even getting the turns real down, waterways, wasn't getting lost in my rows in the waterways. Yes.
All right, we finished the field we were working on earlier and starting up a new field right next door. It's another one of Dad's fields. He's had it for a while. I'm not sure. He wasn't sure how wet this would be, but we're gonna open it up and try and cut.
Okay, so just an end of that day, like update as I'm editing the video for that. There was a lot we didn't end up putting into that video because there were either other people around or there was just stuff happening and it just wasn't like a convenient time to like take videos and try and figure out what was going on. But we ended up having problems shortly after starting that Saturday with our feeder house only letting us go like 100 yards and then stopping, and we couldn't figure it out. Took everything back to the shop, unloaded it after copious amounts of investigation. These eagle eyes spotted a rock in the feeder house, like way up, like jammed up and around the rock house, like not in the rock trap. Rock house. You don't want them to live there. So we dumped it. These little tiny hands got under and fished it out, and we were good. We finished that whole field. With that, when we got into that next field that's then east of the field that we were in before we started having feeder house problems again, we basically went like one trip around, and then we're trying to find some place to cut through the middle where it was kind of maybe like drier and see if it was worth trying to get into that field. And it was kind of just really too wet, and we weren't really we're still on the fence on whether or not we were going to still go. And then feeder house problems again. So I got to have Mom in my tractor with me because she was on a farm date. Got kicked out because they were having some technological problems, I think, or some sort of problems in the combine. So Dad had Kyle go over from his tractor, and they tried to figure it out. They did figure it out, and just kind of decided that that was probably just like the sign that we should be done for the night. So I left. They did one more round. They unloaded into me from the combine. They did one more round just to double check that what they thought was gonna fixed it, and then they came home and we had pizza, and now we're waiting for a little while longer until everything else dries down enough so that it can feed through the combine